Hey, what's happening? Think Bigger Nation. I just came up with that. So glad to have you here on the broadcast this morning with a very good friend of mine. Maybe you, like me at times, have felt stuck within social media of what do I say? And oftentimes that creates some paralysis. And many of you know that social media is about consistency. The algorithms work through consistency. And while we are sitting thinking about what we're going to post, we're becoming more and more irrelevant. A good friend of mine, Cody Martens, is on the show today. He's going to help us get unstuck. Thank you, Cody, for being here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Of course, man. Cody is actually his background. He's a real estate agent, but his focus is he actually has a marketing company called Luminary Agent. And if you're not familiar with Luminary Agent, you need to go find it. And what I wanted to bring Cody on today to talk about was his 14-day challenge. I've been a part of it, and it's been enlightening to see how we can get unstuck by just having somebody just hold our hand and give us something very simple to do every day. So Cody, how did you come up with this? The whole business plan for your company, as well as just this specific challenge?
Yeah, being in real estate over the years, I've seen my fellow agents and our clients struggle with social media and online marketing. And the biggest thing that they struggle with is often knowing what to say and what to do, and then the consistency of doing it repeatedly. And so the premise of our company is pretty simple. It's just to take as much of that off of the realtor's plate as possible. So we do a lot of the online marketing for them, email, social media, websites, blogging, things like that. And then we also coach them and kind of lead them to the water for the things that we can't do for them. Social media obviously is social. And so you need to be your best representative of yourself on social media. That's not something that you can hire out. But what you can hire out is the coaching and the accountability and the knowing what you should do so that it is as easy as possible. And so to help with that and to help jumpstart people's 2019, we created a 14-day social media challenge. Every day delivered either to Facebook Messenger or to your email, you are going to get a video with a task, and it's a post that you can put up on social media and complete in 5 minutes or less. And then we also give you an engagement tip as well. On social media, you have to give to get. And so we are helping you with the putting stuff out there, but then we also want to make sure that you are giving as well. So every day we're going to give you something to post and an engagement tip, a way that you can reach out to other people and interact with people, and really building other people up so that it flows back to you.
Yeah, everything you're saying, Cody, completely resonates with me. Is that number one, I hear of people spending money. In fact, I just heard of an agent on Friday who had outsourced his social media to another company. I mean, wouldn't that be the equivalent of sending somebody else in your stead to like your best friend's birthday party and expecting them to be okay with that?
Exactly. It's exactly the same, basically. Yes.
I think once we get our heads around like what social media is really about, it's about relationships, right?
Yep.
It's about enhancing relationships. That it gets really hard to outsource that. Similar with like a loved one, it's hard to delegate that to somebody else and have it go well. And so what you embody is that people need to own it and people need to do it right. But you also realize that most people out there aren't doing it at all, right? Either they're overthinking it, or they're spending too much time thinking about it, as opposed to just being in action, getting it done, and and I think for most of us, social media is not our business, right? It is a tool of our business. It is a tool of our personal life to stay in touch with people, but it is not our business. And oftentimes when I see people saying, I'm going to do social media, every other part of their business starts to really struggle and suffer because they spend so much time in their head thinking about, should I post this? Should I post that? And so what you've done is created this very simple system where people get alerted via messenger to here's a tip, right? It needs to be you, but here's an idea for you to go do, and they own it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And that's the great part about it, is that, you know, it takes away the what should I post, and it takes away the how do I make it sound this way, or should I do it this way, or should I do it this way? And, you know, just all the what should I do, because those are all the stumbling blocks, right? And so if I can remove all of those stumbling blocks and make it as easy as possible without doing it for you, because I can't do it for you. It needs to be you. You know, I can't stand in for you at somebody's birthday party, you know, and especially with social media, I mean, it's meant to build relationships, and then those relationships lead to transactions. But social media is not meant to be transactional in and of itself. And I think that's where a lot of people get social media mixed up, is because they want to hire out being themselves on social media, thinking that it's a marketing, sales, transaction tactic, and it's really not.
Right. Yeah, that it's not a selling tool, right? I mean, you don't.
It's not.
If you use it that way, you'll quickly lose followers and credibility with people. People don't.
What's the reason to follow you for any length of time if all you're ever doing is selling on it? Right. For somebody who's not you, you know, for your friends, your followers, your fans, what value are you providing them if all you're ever doing is posting your listings or your solds or your awards and accolades?
Yeah.
I mean, what's in it for me? That's the question you should always ask.
Right. And too often, especially this time of year, and not to speak ill of any one in particular, because so many do it, but I was speaking with a friend in common that you and I have, Heather Robbins, and she said, this time of year, I just roll my eyes because all of my counterparts in the industry are putting out, I sold X number of homes. She said, my entire newsfeed is filled with people talking about how many homes they've sold. And she said, I don't see anybody else doing that, like any other industries. Like my insurance agent isn't doing that. She says, it's just kind of weird. And maybe other people don't think it's weird, but I think it's weird. And I had to laugh because it is a little weird. And I get that it's been taught that there's this evidence of success concept, right? Where you want people to know you're actually a successful agent. And so maybe there's some truth in it. And I think it's actually worked well for a lot of people, but maybe there's a different way to do it. What are your thoughts on that?
I think there's a time and a place for proving your success and your accolades. And I don't think that it is randomly on social media to a bunch of people who may or may not know you very well. That's the thing you have to remember with social media, is that it's a huge mix of your mom plus somebody that you met at an open house. Like there's that big of a range of the people. And so you need to be careful and mindful that those bragging pieces, those experience pieces, there's a place for those. And it might not be to everybody on social media to share those with. It might be in the middle of an email campaign or a Facebook marketing campaign when you're targeting an actual potential client, right? When that information, it becomes relevant to that person, that's when you should be bringing that stuff up, not to just everybody in the ecosphere. And there's also a way to do it where you can say, to people on social media, obviously they're your friends that are on there. They care about you. They care about your goals. And if you can say, I had a goal of helping this many people last year and I reached that goal, or I exceeded it, or I almost made it, but it was still an amazing year. And thank you all so much who helped me get there. That's a different post than when somebody just is flat out bragging and saying, I sold X number of homes last year, great. But what's in it for me is the person seeing it.
And that's the point. And again, it's worked well for some. It's odd the whole concept is odd to probably a lot of people when they see those come across, like a doctor saying, I serve this many patients, or I don't know. Like I can't have a hard time picturing that. And again, it's worked well for some, so I'm not totally downplaying it, but you might think how that's being received on the other end, and even ask yourself, is there some way for me to say that differently, to get the same information across, but through the right context? If you were at a party, I like to say social media is a party. It's a social gathering. Mm-hmm. And if you were to go to a party and just randomly bring that up, like I sold X number of homes this past year to everybody in the room, it'd be odd. Now in conversation, if someone asked you, right, and or a targeted directed ad, like you said, super appropriate, right?
Yeah.
So anyway,
and I think intent and authenticity have a lot there. If your intent is true, and if you're saying it in a way that's authentic for you, mm-hmm. then I think that makes obviously a huge difference as well.
Yeah.
So you just have to, you have to kind of go with your gut on that, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Because I've seen some do it and it actually feels okay, right?
Yeah,
like there's an authenticity behind it.
You want to celebrate in their success,
Yes. And the people, like the families that you genuinely served, and what's in it for them is really the people that you've served. You're able to serve people at a high level, and that because you do perform at a high level and serve a lot of people, you're proving the capacity that you have to serve other people well. So I get it. But I would just encourage people to think about that. And again, going back to the point of this broadcast of why I've invited you to come on and you graciously accepted that, is to let people know about this 14-day challenge, which will help a lot of people that are stuck in social media. They're either not doing it all or they're doing it and it's taking up way too much time to do it well.
Yep.
So Cody, how do they find your challenge?
Yeah, so you can get to the challenge by just going to luminaryagent.com/14day, the digits 1 and 4, luminaryagent.com/14day, and that will redirect you to the landing page for the challenge. And then you can either sign up using Facebook Messenger, or there is an option to sign up for email as well. And then every morning you will be fed a new challenge for the day. And you just click on the link and you'll get a video of me explaining the post and the challenge for the day. You'll get tips on how to make the post, the best that it can be. You'll get examples of other people's posts that have done these types of posts before so that you can actually see them. And then you'll also get your engagement tip for the day as well. So luminaryagent.com/14day, the numbers 1 and 4 day. And that's how you get there.
I'm going to put this up here on the screen, luminaryagent.com/14day. So
that's it.
In case you didn't get that, go there. I promise you that you will start to think differently. Number one, about how quick social media can be, how authentic it can be, and how helpful it can be to have a true expert in your corner that is helping guide you along the way. And Cody, he lives what he preaches. Like the guy, if you just start to engage with his social media, you'll be like, how do I show up like this? That was actually how I think Heather Robbins found you. Probably she saw some interaction between you and I, started seeing your stuff, and she can't get enough, right?
Yeah.
Very high producing agent, does very well on social media, but she saw what you're doing and she's like, oh my goodness, I just want to observe and do what you're modeling. So thank you for being that to agents, to me and this great community. And thanks for coming on today. I love it.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
You bet, man. Have a great day. We'll talk soon. Thanks. Think bigger. World, we will be back tomorrow with another great podcast. Actually, James Adair. Cody, James Adair. James Adair is going to be talking about an event that we have coming up called Exponential Referrals. So stay tuned for that tomorrow. It's going to be fantastic. So we'll talk soon, man.
Thanks. See you later.